Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
So this is going to round up our DC news, because Marco and I are big fans of DC, and if you don't like that, you can get out of my face. We already heard the disclaimer earlier, so
yeah,
you've been warned. A representative from DC has now come out in an attempt to address the recent cancellation of DC Universe's Swamp Thing. Now, this just happened.
Oh, shit.
Apparently, there also were reports saying that the streaming service is being reevaluated. DC Universe was the DC Comics app that gave you comics and Titans original content. And, all other DC content like Watchmen is coming, and like Dark Knight,
Meteor Man,
cartoon. Come on now,
just kidding,
cartoons like Batman the Animated Series, Meteor Man. Come on now.
Oh, and then the revivals, the Teen Titans revivals, all that shit, like the Harley Quinn show we're probably never gonna get anymore. There we go.
So apparently, the show James Wan's produced, Swamp Thing, just recently got canceled after airing only a single episode. Now, everyone's been saying, like, oh, it got canceled because of tax rebates, and then North Carolina was like, not true, and then yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But so far, they unfortunately, they're not in a position to answer at this time. A million thanks for your patience. We understand this has not been easy for you as fans, and I'll do my best to provide you with a satisfying answer, but as of right now, the full 10 episodes of Season 1 will continue to air, with the episodes being released on a weekly Friday basis.
Who said that?
And now this was from the DC Universe community manager.
The bot. The messaging bot.
DC Universe will continue to develop new shows, new seasons, new stories, more availability, and more platforms.
Okay, so if your app is getting reevaluated by the company that just bought you guys out, technically, for anyone who doesn't know what that means, I'll give you what the insider info on that is. That means that your app is not turning the kind of profit that they wished it would, and they only gave this app about a year to exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, you look at what Disney's coming up with their front, and the low entrance fee for that whole app and everything it's going to be offering. The DC app has probably not turned that kind of profit that they thought it was going to. And then you have to look at the films that they were originally supposed to be attached to, like me and you were talking before recording, where we said the irony about Swamp Thing and Titans and all this stuff was that these were names of films that were attached to the ever-growing Snyderverse that was going to be in the fallout of what the original Justice League plans were.
Mm-hmm. And
now we got them turned into shows, and now we got them canceled. And now the app is under evaluation. And I ask you, Karwin, just for conversation for anyone listening, like, what I think it means that they're looking to cancel, at least making the live action shows.
That's a weird subject to hit, because it's like, I think it's because Warner wants to really focus more on their app.
Yeah.
So they'll just absorb all that content to make sure that you get the overall app experience.
Yeah, because in the fallout of this announcement with all this was the real revelation that they knew Swamp Thing was supposed to be a 3-season run, right?
Yeah, so they were saying that, like, possibly, like, they imagined 3 seasons, if it became like a bigger hit, like, let's say, like, Stranger Things or something like that, sizable. Yeah. And then they also mentioned that it could also lead to a possible Justice League Dark spinoff. And for you folks that don't know about Justice League Dark focuses more on the supernatural characters of, like, John Constantine, Zatanna, a magician, female lady, Swamp Thing, the ghost acrobat known as Dead Man.
Yeah.
Characters like that. And it's like, well, that's a pretty good team up.
Yeah, and a pretty good plan, because there was supposed to be a Justice League Dark film from Guillermo del Toro, which has gone poof.
They got other writers and directors attached to it, and none of them has turned in anything worth a damn, worth a lick on a postage stamp, some would say, which is like 10 cents.
or one of your
or a penny.
One of your vacuum fetus's eyes.
Yeah.
I love you, mommy. And so, yeah, it's a funny place to exist in as a fan with this app, because, like, some people have paid into it, and then just last month they announced that, like, oh, you can watch all of Titans for free now. And we kept talking about, like, they keep going back on what makes these apps exclusive and worth paying for. right?
Yeah, so it's like DC Universe, that like all that earlier, they really didn't clarify that much, or anything for that matter. It's just like I think it's just because we know Warner Media will contain HBO, Cinemax, TBS, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim.
Now, will they
$16-17 a month?
Will they have the full length series run of Emmanuel in Space on the Cinemax app?
I'm looking for that sex spot too.
I'm hoping that Blair Witch Project comes back.
Planet of the Babes, Spider Babe.
Anyone listening? Those are great movies.
It's called Skinemax.
Yes, Spanktravision.
Porn parodies of 5 movies shot on $5, and they each were like 30 minutes apiece.
It was funny to see how they managed to like G-rate edit porn.
I think it's just because it was so shot on the cheap.
Yeah.
It had no other choice but like we gotta give them softcore stuff because we don't have the budget.
Do you think it sucked to be like that guy underneath that chick, where like if she was on top and he realizes like I'm wearing a pasty and so is she, and we're not really
but
doing
you can't
this.
get that close though in softcore. I mean, softcore, it's all shadows and moonlight.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like when she would be on top of him, she'd be like under his belly button, like upright.
Yeah, I mean the room did it.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like intercourse. You can't. It's enough to say, oh, that's so. I guess they're having sex. But
she must like riding his belly button.
Yeah,
I know. But Cinemax, man, I can't wait to not watch that.
Same here.